さあパールジャム特集ということでお送りしているこの MTV ロックス、いよいよここからエディ・ベイダーの貴重なコメント映像を見ていただくんですけれども、ここでねエディはいろいろ音楽的なバックグラウンドからバンドの結成、いろんなことを語ってくれてますんで、早速それをご覧いただきたいと思います。どうぞ。
I see. Okay, so how did you get into rock first place?
I didn't. It got me. I think it swallowed me up somehow. It was always it's a powerful art form. You know, it is an art form. There's no argument about that. I don't want to sound pompous. You know, when you say, well, rock and roll, it's an art form, but it is. You know, it's music, and it's an extreme art. It's a tremendous art form where it hits you on different levels. You know, it's obviously this. You know, it's something where the audio hits you hardcore. Your senses are working with the words that are coming through. You know, you're listening to that, and when you see it live, you've got a visual. So it's a very, it's a very powerful medium. And it was probably the one that hit me hardest when I was a little kid. Still does, you know. Still does. There's new bands that come out that just, make me happy. I'm not happy that much, but that's what makes me happy, is music. I was thinking about happiness. What is happiness? And I was thinking that it was just the absence of pain.
So how did you join Pearl Jam first place?
Well, that was it. They got that tape. And then I disappeared for a week. I was always very hard to get a hold of. You know, I worked a midnight shift, and then I would work in the day for a club for free, lifting equipment and stuff. Maybe I would get a T-shirt from the band or something, but it was always for free. But in order to get closer to music, this way you could get in to see the bands free and maybe talk to them at sound check or shake their hand, or Joe Strummer from The Clash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got to no one was looking, so I picked up his guitar and played London Calling, and I put it back and ran back in the corner and just, yeah, I just played Joe Strummer's guitar. Or I'd get a Stuart Copeland drumstick or something like that, But I was always hard to get a hold of, and my friend Jack Irons, who plays with the band 11 and used to be in the Peppers and stuff, he called me up and said, yeah, those guys that I'd given you that tape, because he's the one who gave me the tape, he said, those guys are looking for you. And I went up and spent a week in Seattle, and we wrote 10 songs in 5 days, and then the 6th day we played a show, and then the 7th day we recorded it all. Just like that. And then I went back to San Diego, and it was all like a big dream, but if I needed a pinch, all I had to do was put that tape in, and I could hear, wow, cool.
So before you joined Pearl Jam, what kind of music did you play?
I've always just played real music, stuff that felt good. Nothing ever felt as good as this, I must say, and that's why the opportunity to move to Seattle and change my life was taken up so quickly without much thought, because what Stone and Jeff were writing, and Mike, it really hit me, and it started bringing out things that no other music had pulled out of me before. Their music was like a blank canvas, or a canvas that allowed me to do what I felt, and it worked. I mean, I wrote that song Alive when I was surfing one day after I had listened to their tape all night. At work, I worked a midnight shift. So, that was a story. That's not when I think back, it's a pretty unusual song to just send up to some strangers, but I never really, I've never been the type to really care about that kind of thing, and their music, it sounded real to me, and the words were real to me, and put it together and just, sent it off, so. And now it's funny that people sing along to that song, which I could have easily not sent that off, No, it could have been very easy for no one to ever hear that song.
Debut album 10 had sold a large amount of records now, and how do you analyze this success?
there's a record company called Sony that put the record out. I think it's their job to analyze it. It's my job just to play. You know.
Right.
I don't know. I can't even guess. I would have never guessed, and I would have never bet, and if I would have bet, I probably wouldn't want to win the bet. I don't think I wanted this, you know. It can be a scary thing to sell that many records, because then people start being cynical with you. Now you're some kind of big thing, and they don't open up to you in the same way, you know. I think our band it's a small foreign film. It's not a blockbuster American movie. It's not Terminator 2, you know. Never wanted to be. So I don't want people thinking we are, or talking about us like we are, or saying, you gotta listen to this record, it's the greatest thing, you gotta listen to this record. Because it's something, it's much more subtle. You have to kind of open yourself up to it, and maybe listen to it on headphones, and then like start hearing what's really happening, and hearing some of the emotions on there and stuff. Anytime you get cynical with art or emotion, in a way, you start censoring it, you know. You start not believing it. Or
So are you satisfied with 10 as an album? Is there anything you feel that you shouldn't do that, or you could do this?
Well, I have to be satisfied, because there's no way to change it now. And we just go out and play these songs live, and I think that's the best place to hear the music, is live. It's much louder. You can jump around like crazy, and your parents aren't going to tell you to turn it down. And you can kind of lose yourself, even with headphones laying in bed. You can lose yourself within it. Or live would be the place to see it. But then when you come home, if you want to get that feeling again, I think you can listen to the songs on the record, and they'll be close enough. It's a little bit faster live, so if you own the record, if you own it on disc, you might want to just use your finger, make it go a little bit faster.
Can you give to Japanese fans, to the message to Japanese fans?
I'd love to. Oh, do I have one?
Yeah.
I can just say it right here.
Yeah.
I need to think about it. Japanese fans are important. Think about this for a second. Gosh. There's too much to say. How much tape do we have? No. All right, hey, this is Eddie from Pearl Jam. I just want to thank everybody for listening. I mean that. Why? Because I never thought people in Japan would ever be listening to my songs. Never. So I think it's really cool, and I thank you for that. And I hope it gives you strength, knowing that just a little guy like me was able to do something and maybe make a record and get it over to your country. If you're out there, maybe you too can make a record, and maybe I'll be listening to it someday. And believe in yourself. Be strong, okay?